my darling fiancé, this is the last letter I will write to you before we are husband and wife. The big day is finally here and I'm so excited, and I hope you're having a good morning getting ready. Bet it's a bit of a madhouse and your dad will be enjoying some peace and quiet whilst he has his wet shave. I can't wait to call you my wife for the first time and see how beautiful you look when you walk down the aisle. Thank you for being my best friend, soulmate of my world. Love you always, Duffy.
That's fine.
Oh, you look gorgeous.
Well, you done me in your bed, I felt it. I tried to be chill, but you're so hot that I melted. I fell right through the cracks. Now I'm trying to get back. Before the cool done run out, I'll be giving it my bestest, and nothing's gonna stop me but divine intervention. I reckon it's again my turn to win some or learn some, but I won't hesitate no more, no more. It cannot wait. I'm yours. Open up your mind and see like me. Open up your plans and damn, you're free. I look into your heart and you'll find love, 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 and love. Listen to the music of the moment, people dance and sing. We're just one big family, and it's our God-forsaken right to be loved, love, 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 loved. So I won't hesitate no more, no more. It cannot wait. I'm sure there's no need to complicate. Our time is short. This is our fate. I'm yours. Do you, but do you, but do you want to come on? I scooch on over closer, dear, and I will nibble your ear. Soon they boom, 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 boom.
So, just before I start the ceremony, I do have a very important job to do. Who gives this woman to be married? That's lovely, thank you. If you'd like to take this seat. Lovely. Brilliant. Okay. So, on behalf of Simon and Stacey, I am delighted to welcome you all here this afternoon to Mere Court Hotel on this very special day, the day of their marriage. My name is Fiona, and it really is my very great pleasure to be conducting this ceremony this afternoon. My colleague Holly is in charge of creating an historic record of today's events and of producing the all-important marriage certificate. All right.
Sorry. Compose myself.
Okay. So, today is the start of a new and exciting chapter in the lives of Simon and Stacey. And I do know that the day has involved an awful lot of planning and preparation to get everybody here. But we all know that marriage is more than just a wedding day. It's about your lives together once the celebrations are over. Marriage is a journey, it's an adventure where each of you will love, care for and support the other. And you will form a circle of love that will gather in your whole family. And it is as family and friends that you have all been invited here today to share with Simon and Stacey on this special day and to give your love and support to them, not only today, but for the rest of their married life together. So, before I go any further, I'm going to invite Emma to come forward, and Emma is going to read He Never Leaves the Seat Up.
He never leaves the seat up. He never leaves the seat up or wet towels upon the floor. The toothpaste has the lid on and he always shuts the door. She's very clean and tidy, though she may sometimes delude. Leave your things out at your peril, in a second they'll be moved. He romances her and dines her, home-cooked dinners and the like. He even knows her favourite food and spoils her day and night. She's thoughtful when she looks at her, a smile upon his face. Will he look that good in 50 years, when his dentures aren't in place? He says he loves her figure and her mental prowess too, but when gravity takes her over, will she charm with her IQ? She says she loves his kindness and his patience is a must, and of course she thinks he's handsome, which in her eyes is a plus. They're both not wholly perfect, but who are we to judge? He can be pig-headed, whereas she won't even budge. All that said and done, they love the time they spend together, and I hope, as I'm sure you do, that this fine day will last forever. He'll be more than just a husband, he'll also be her friend, and she'll be more than just his wife. She'll be his soulmate till the end.
It's lovely, thank you. It's lovely,
It's going to get
very
better.
much. Yeah. I have more tissues. Okay. So, this place in which we are now met has been duly sanctioned according to law for the celebration of marriage. If any person knows of any lawful reason why Simon and Stacey may not be joined in matrimony, you should declare it now.
We ignore that.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you both now to declare your full names. So, Simon, if you could please declare your full name.
Simon John Duff.
That's lovely. And Stacey, your full name.
Stacey Marie Head.
Lovely, thank you. So, before you two pledge yourselves to each other in marriage, it is my duty to remind you of the solemn and the lasting character of the vows you are about to make to each other. Marriage in this country is the union of two people voluntarily entered into for life to the exclusion of all others. But more importantly than this, marriage is intended to provide the love and friendship, help and comfort that each of you need in times of joy and of hardship. Marriage is a deep and a lasting commitment, And I'm now going to ask both of you to declare that you know of no legal reason why you should not marry each other. So traditionally, we start with the groom. So Simon, if you could please repeat after me. I do solemnly declare.
I do solemnly declare.
That I know not.
That I know not.
Of any lawful impediment.
Of any lawful impediment.
Why I, Simon.
Why I, Simon.
May not be joined in matrimony.
May not be joined in matrimony.
To Stacey.
To Stacey.
That's lovely, thank you. Now Stacey, if you would repeat after me.
Okay.
I do solemnly declare.
I do solemnly declare.
That I know not.
That I know not.
Of any lawful impediment.
Of any lawful impediment.
Why I, Stacey.
Why I, Stacey.
May not be joined in matrimony.
May not be joined in matrimony.
To Simon.
To Simon.
That's lovely. Simon and Stacey see marriage as the promise of hope between two people who love each other, who trust that love, who honour one another as individuals, and who now wish to share their future together. When two people join and bond their lives, it is because they are certain they have found that someone and something special. Simon and Stacey will build a life together, and as long as their determination stays with them, this life will always be their hope, their inspiration, and their source of strength. These two people will face life together, encouraging each other's dreams and forgiving each other's faults. They will become one, ultimately creating a marriage that will grow into infinite love. And it is in this spirit that Simon and Stacey are now before us. For in each other's company, they have found happiness, fulfilment, and love. And they now wish to affirm their relationship in your presence and ask for your guidance and love as they start their new married life together. So I'm going to ask Beverly, would you like to come and collect Stacey's spoons, please? So if you could take each other's hands for me. And you are now going to make the promises that will form the basis of your consent to marriage. And what Simon and Stacey have done is they've actually written their own words for each other. So they are very personal to them, and I shall let them have their words and they will read them to each other. So those are yours and those are yours. So Simon, if you'd like to start, please.
Stacey, you're my first, my last, and my only true love. I'm so proud to stand here today beside you. I promise I'll always be your biggest fan and your fiercest supporter. I can't wait to marry you and one day have a son or a daughter. When we're in troubled water, I promise to get us to shore. We've enjoyed so many happy times and look forward to so many more. You're my best friend, my soulmate, and the love of my life. So on this day, on the 18th of October, thank you for saying yes and becoming my wife.
You're wearing that. Simon, today, on the eve of our 11-year anniversary, we are about to become husband and wife. Today, I marry my best friend, my soulmate, God. And there is no one that knows me better, or that would put up with me with all my quirks. I love you with all of my heart, and I love all of your ways, and I cannot wait to spend the rest of my life with you as husband and wife. And Mr. and Mrs. You're such an idiot. No, I'm good.
Sure. Okay. The institution of marriage must be entered into freely, voluntarily, and with the full and unreserved consent of you both. Therefore I ask, do you, Stacey, take Simon here present to be your lawful wedded husband?
I do.
And do you, Simon, take Stacey, here present, to be your lawful wedded wife?
I do.
So I'm going to give you two a little break now because I'm going to invite Hannah, who's going to come and read. I'll be there for you.
I'll be there for you by Louise Cousin. I'll be there, my darling, through thick and through thin, when your mind's in a mess and your head's in a spin, when your plane's been delayed and you've missed the last train, and when life is just threatening to drive you insane. When your thrilling whodunit has lost its last page, or when somebody tells you you're looking your age, when your coffee's too cool or your wine is too warm, when the forecast said fine but you're out in a storm, when your quick break hotel turns into a slum and your holiday photos show only your thumb, when you park for 5 minutes in a residence bay and return to discover you've been towed away, where the jeans that you bought in hope or in haste just stick on your hips and don't reach round your waist, or when the food you most like brings you out in red rashes, and when as soon as you boot up the bloody thing crashes. So my darling, my sweetheart, my dear, when you break a rule, or when you're at the fall, when you've got the flu, or when you're in a stew, when you're last in the queue, don't feel blue, because I'm telling you, I'll be there. Oh.
Thank you very much. Okay, so a few moments ago, Simon and Stacey agreed to marry one another. They are now going to make the vows that will make that agreement legally binding. So if you remain facing each other and in the presence of your family and friends, if you could repeat after me, Simon, please. I call upon these persons here present to witness that I, Simon, do take thee, Stacey, to be my lawful wedded wife. I will love and care for you. Honour and cherish you. Whatever the future may bring.
Well done,
that's your turn, Stacey. So repeat after me. I call upon these persons here present to witness that I, Stacey, do take thee, Simon, to be my lawful wedded husband. I will love and care for you. Honour and cherish you. Whatever the future may bring. Well done. Simon and Stacey have chosen to seal their marriage by the giving and receiving of wedding rings. A ring is an unbroken circle. It has no beginning and no end, and it symbolises everlasting love. And the rings you are about to exchange are an outward sign of the lifelong promises you are making to one another here today. So I'm going to invite Leo to step forward. Okay, so if you could please give Simon the ring that he's going to give to Stacey. That's lovely. And then if you take the seat again, that's smashing. So if you'd like to place the ring on the third finger of Stacey's left hand and just hold it halfway up. That's it. And then repeat after me. Stacey, all that I have, I give to you. All that I am, I share with you. I give you this ring. As a symbol of my love. For today, for tomorrow. And for all the years to come. Please wear it as a sign of my love. And as notice to the world. That you have chosen me. To be your husband. Well done, thank you. And Leo, if we could hold a ring, thank you. So if you'd like to take that side. Lovely. Now have a seat, thank you. And then again, just halfway up, and just hold on, repeat after me. Simon, all that I have, I give to you.
Simon, all that I have, I give to you.
All that I am, I share with you.
All that I am, I share with you.
I give you this ring
I give you this ring
as a symbol of my love.
as a symbol of my love.
For today, for tomorrow,
For today, for tomorrow,
and for all the years to come.
and for all of the years to come.
Please wear it as a sign of my love,
Please wear it as a sign of my love,
and as notice to the world
and as notice to the world
that you have chosen me
that you have chosen me
to be your wife.
to be your wife.
Simon and Stacey, you are now at the start of your new married life together. Treasure the trust and the responsibility, and may the feeling of love that you have for one another deepen and grow stronger over the years to come. You have both made the declarations required by law, but more importantly, you've made your own promises to one another. And it therefore gives me the very greatest of pleasure to say that you are now husband and wife. Simon, you may kiss your bride.
Checking my tongue, try to see you clearly, but my brain fogged up the glass. And so I drew in your face and I laughed. I guess what I've been saying is there ain't no better reason to rid yourself of vanities and just go with the seasons. It's what we aim to do. Our name is our virtue, but I won't hesitate no more. It cannot wait. I'm yours. Open up your mind and see like me. Open up your plans and damn, you're free. I look into your heart and you'll find that the sky is yours. So please don't, please don't, please don't. There's no need to complicate, 'cause our time is short. This is our fate. I'm yours. There's no combination of words I could put on the back of a postcard. No song that I could sing, but I can try for your heart. And our dreams, and they are made out of real things, like a shoebox of photographs with sepia tone loving. Love is the answer, at least, for most of the questions in my heart. Like, why are we here and where do we go, and how come it's so hard? And it's not always easy, and sometimes life can be deceiving. I'll tell you one thing, it's always better when we're together. It's always better when we're together. Yeah, we'll look at them stars when we're together. Well, it's always better when we're together. Yeah, it's always better when we're together.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. Ladies and gents, before the meal we have the speeches. So first up, please put your hands together to the father of the bride, Daz.
Ladies and gentlemen, hang on. On behalf of Bev and myself, I'd like to welcome you all and thank you all for coming to spare. I knew I'd do this. For everyone who's coming to celebrate this special day for us, with us. Especially them that's come from darkest Lincolnshire, which I know a lot of you have. Well, what can I say? Okay. about my little princess. Right. When she was little, and the midwife. Sorry. When she was little, the midwife handed me my perfect little daughter. My emotions were all over the place, a bit like they are now. I didn't know whether to laugh or cry, so I did both. But the sense of pride was overwhelming. A pride that has stayed with me through her childhood and her adulthood. I've watched this little girl grow into the beautiful woman you see here today. But her beauty is not just skin deep, it's heart and soul deep. And she's such a thoughtful, caring human being. Unless she's choosing shoes, and then... you know, nobody's 100% perfect. She comes close. As a little girl, she was never really into the latest fashions. Times change. But she looked like a little hippie with a long skirt and a Doc Martin boots and a little red poppy hat that we thought was stuck to her head. It never ever came off. But this was Stacey's individuality showing through, and I've relished every minute of being her dad. Even when I was crawling under a car fixing some sort of problem in the rain, you know, a dad needs to be needed by his daughter. And then all of a sudden, she started going out a lot. And, this was just one of Stacey's way, but all of a sudden she started going out a lot. When me and Mum said, "Do you want picking up?" "Oh no, Duffy will pick me up." Who's Duffy? I don't know. Who's Duffy? It went on for a few weeks, and then all of a sudden, Simon was there. You know, he just appeared. We didn't really get a formal meeting. You know, and I've lost that bit now. And I have to say, what a polite, courteous, respectful young man he was, and to this day. honestly he was. When he meets me now, it's always with a handshake and a beer. He's not daft, is he? And he's a credit to his parents who volunteered him. You know, but most of all, he's always treated my little precious girl with respect, kindness, and I can see they work well together. And I couldn't wish for a better son-in-law than Simon. So please, carry on looking after my little girl the best you can. And Bev and I give you a heartfelt blessing and wish you both a long, happy and successful life together. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me as host of Stacey. Thank you, now that's over with.
Ladies and gents, please put your hands together for the groom, Simon.
Dad, thanks for welcoming everyone today and for all your kind words. You give me a really tough act to follow there, so thank you very much. Reiterating Daz's comments, thank you everyone for coming all this way to join us today. It means so much that you've all travelled so far to share this special day with us, and I hope you all enjoyed it just as much as we are so far. When I sat down to write this, I got thinking how me and Stacey first got together all those years ago, and being at the start of the speech, I thought that'd probably be a good place to start. I first met Stacey around 11 and a half years ago, and to be perfectly honest, there's no way to describe the feeling when I first saw her than love at first sight. Well, it was on my half anyway. I guess looking back, it was probably a good thing that my love went unrequited for some time, as it made the following 6 months pretty eventful, as I came up with increasingly elaborate ways to woo and romance her. One of my favourite memories of that time was when Stacey first started at college. With the strong work ethic she's got, she used to bike to the bus stop, get a 40-minute bus to Giles, and repeat the same journey on the way home. Now, the traditionalists amongst you would expect me to go and pick her up in my car from Giles. But I thought a much more impressive tactic would be to wait in the village until she was finishing college and about to get off the bus and pick a bike up. And then I would leave the engine ticking over, and I would serenade her with love songs all the way home from all the greats of the era, people like Justin Timberlake, Nelly, and even 50 Cent. She finally agreed to be my girlfriend 11 years ago tomorrow. So, over the last 11 years, we've really grown together and grown up together and created so many happy memories. Some of them are actually shown through the table names, as you'll see when you have a look at them. It's been an incredible journey, and after 9 years together, I decided the time was right for me to propose. I decided the perfect place would be a local beauty spot, The Edge in Alderley. For those of you that are not familiar with it, it's a cliff face in Alderley Edge, as the name suggests probably. You can see right across Greater Manchester into the city centre. I took the day off work to go and buy a ring in the Birmingham Jewellery Quarter. I had everything planned. As you know, organisation's one of my strong points. Took the afternoon off work and I wrote I love you in roses on the cliff edge. I had a bottle of champagne on ice, really pulled out all the stops, the works. Of course, I took Stacey up to that cliff edge and she was blindfolded. I took the blindfold off, I was on one knee. She was overcome with emotion and of course, thankfully she said yes. The piece we celebrated with a bit of champagne, and the piece de resistance, I don't know how my French sounded there, you get the point, was we were going to light a Chinese lantern together to watch it glide off the cliff face, into the clouds, and over into Manchester. Of course, not everything in life can go according to plan, and it sort of stuttered, slumped off the edge of the cliff, and into the forest. Which promptly meant to have to leave my new fiancée, armed over with an empty bottle of champagne and an ice bucket, and to try and put out the fire. And 2 years later, here we are today. Thank you all once again for joining us on this special day. We really appreciate it. It means so much to us both. Also, I want to thank some of the people that made today possible. Firstly, I'd like to thank Bev and Daz for being so welcoming and allowing me into the family from day one.
Oh, I'm not ready,
it's alright, I've got a bit of time yet. Got a bit of praise for him.
Okay.
Honestly, couldn't ask for a more welcoming, considerate and loving mother and father-in-law. It was perhaps easy for Bev to welcome me into the family because she'd done a few years work experience with me. I was at work experience at Curtin Primary when I was 16, so she'd seen all my good qualities. It was perhaps not so easy for Daz because at the time he was working with my Uncle Dave, whose house I used to stay around at the weekends, and would have heard all about my noisy escapades when I was returning in the early hours of the weekends. Both, though, have been absolutely fantastic parents who I credit for giving Stacey so many of the things that I love about her. Through both nurture and nature, Stacey's grown into an incredibly considerate, beautiful young lady who can be funny and ferocious in equal measure. I can only thank them for the way they've raised Stacey into the fantastic woman that I've got the good fortune to marry today. Thank you both, of course, for all your help with today. I know many of you have admired Daz's post box over there that he lovingly crafted for us. I'm pleased to say that it's not only thank you for helping organising the day, creating all the beautiful stationery that you've all got around you, and also for keeping Stacey sane over the last few months, which has not been an easy job. Generally, can't thank you enough for everything. To show our appreciation with both what you're present. What's some flowers? This one?
Shall I open it?
Go with this one for them. There we are, thank you ever so much. Now on to my mum and dad. Now we had a bit of a different tone to the speech that's going to take today. It was a bit more of a roasting, but today's going to be nice. So, Mum and Dad, thank you so much for the way you brought me up. You've always shown unshakable faith in me, which means so much. Dad, you taught me to take pride in everything I do and not to take shortcuts if you want to do things properly. There were times when I was digging out the drive that summer that I wish you'd show me a shortcut or 7. Mum, thanks ever so much for always being there for me. You've always supported me in everything I've done and let me grow as an individual. One example in particular was the day I came home from primary. Don't worry, it's alright. Was the day I came home from primary school and decided I wanted to be a vegetarian. One of the few things I actually stuck with for the next 6 years. it meant that Mum had to cook me an extra meal every day because Dad wouldn't eat the vegetarian stuff. But she never once grumbled or moaned about it and let me carry on the path I wanted to take until a lot of time vacancy. Mum and Dad, thank you so much for the unconditional support and happy childhood you've given me over the last 28 years. Could never thank you enough, but we've also got you a gift to show our appreciation. There's some flowers behind me, apparently. There we are. I'll put them round. There we are.
Well, thank you.
Of course, that's the immediate family started anyway. I'd also like to thank Stacey's friends Hannah and Emma for their beautiful readings. Thank you very much, ladies. If you'd like to come up, we'd also like to take your time, ladies. No one's hungry. It's alright, we've got all night. Thank you very much, guys. I've got kisses to go, don't worry. Colette, thank you so much for your hard work helping Stacey decorate the beautiful champagne glasses you've got in front of you, and also for the chocolates you're going to enjoy later on. Colette, if you'd like to come up, we've got you a present as well. Without the involvement of you all today, I'd not be here marrying Stacey. I wanted to marry Stacey for a really long time, well, 11 years obviously. As I mentioned, it was love at first sight, which has generally grown more beautiful every day. Stacey, stop messing about with your own bag. That's the only time I'll tell you what to do. You're my best friend, my soulmate, and my reason for everything. You've understood and supported me so much. I'm so proud of everything we've achieved together. Thank you so much for doing the huge honour of being my wife. I love saying that. My heart skipped a beat every time I've looked at you today. I can honestly say I feel like the luckiest man alive. I'm so proud to marry the most beautiful girl I've ever seen and have been in love with for over 11 years. Beauty though, of course, is only skin deep. The reason I fell in love with Stacey and have grown more and more in love each day since is undoubtedly for who she is as a person. My wife, again it feels really good to say that, she's an amazing girl. She makes me laugh every single day. She always puts others' needs before herself, and she's certainly not afraid to speak her mind. Without a doubt, the saying, behind every good man is a better woman, certainly applies in this case. I would of course also like to thank the bridesmaids today, Sarah and Lucy. Thank you so much, Sarah, thank you so much for being Stacey's chief bridesmaid and best friend, and of course for the beautiful cake we're going to enjoy later on. Mine has worked out alright, Luce, thank you so much for being Stacey's bridesmaid today. I'd like to thank you as well for all the kind and thoughtful gestures you've done for us over the years, and most importantly of all, always entertaining us. Ladies, if you both like to come up, we've got a present for you both.
Double whammy.
It's been really important for Stacey to have a family with her on the build-up to the big day, and it means a lot that you've all been so involved throughout. You look beautiful today, Lucy, and I'm sure I'm sharing the thoughts of all the family and friends when I say what a funny, beautiful and considerate young woman you've grown into. Finally, but certainly not least, my best man Leo, and usher and brother Sam, for all their efforts today and navigating me safely over the 3 stag do's and all the escapades we've been through over the years. But before I hand over to that double act to my right, yeah, to my right, it's worked out alright that. I'd also like to raise a glass to the important people who can't be with us today, but are always in their thoughts and hearts. To loved ones that can't be with us. Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
Before I hand over though to that double act, I'm going to hand over to Sam first, who's the Chief Vice President Usher of Ceremonies. He's going to say a few words and warm up for the best man, Leo. Both have been in my life pretty much from the start, so they're ideally placed to tell you all about my good qualities, which I'm sure they're going to do. Oh yeah. The only thing I would like to warn you about though, is they've both got very vivid imaginations and a tendency to exaggerate stories. So please do feel free to use your salt on the table to take a massive pinch of salt. Thank you very much guys, if you'd like to come up and have a present. Dan, also the guitarist Dan. I forgot to write you in the speech, Dan. If you'd like to come up though, got your present as well, say thank you for that lovely serenade. Not you, thanks a lot, Dan.
Thank you so much.
Right, cheers, Dan. Now it's over to my little brother.
Oh dear.
Mum's checked the speech, so was Friday, so...
Yeah, right.
No, don't know.
Have we come near you, Bev?
Yes.
It's alright. Boy, did good.
I'll help you. Yeah, well, what's it going on?
That's me fucking strong now.
Is it linked in your pocket?
Ready to speak first, Bev? Is that right? Alright?
I should hate that. It's just the same.
Go one of two ways now. I want to just want to start off. I was having a really good day. Obviously, Simon and Stacey got married. City, they won 4-1, so that's a great result. And I've just met my childhood hero in the waiting area. I've just met The Rock over here. The bit that's ruined it for me is I had a 5-year-old with my Uncle Dave that Dad would cry during the speech. So Dad should have let me down. Probably ruined the wedding, actually.
Sorry.
Those of you that don't know me, I should probably do, Simon's introduced me, so this first line was irrelevant. I am his younger brother. I wanted to start off by saying what an amazing day I've had. The venue's great. I think Stacey, you look absolutely stunning. I think everyone will agree with that in the room. Good job, nice to yourself. In the industry I work in though, we are used to constructive criticism. So I'm going to give a little bit to you, Stacey, if you don't mind. I think it's healthy to have a bit of, you know, criticism.
Okay.
Stace, City kicked off at 1:45. Would it ever, yeah? To put the start time to 3 o'clock. And I'm saying that on behalf of me and my brother. He told me to put that in there. Now, when Simon asked me to be the usher at the wedding, I immediately thought, great, I've got a nice easy day, just enjoying it. But then there was a but. He told me, Sam, I'd still like you to arrange my stag do, as you love organising so much. Thanks Simon, you've done me a massive favour there. So I organised a stag do, and then 2 months ago, he rung me up and said, Sam, I want you to do a speech. Well, I was instantly a bag of nerves as soon as he asked me to do that. So I remembered about what a school teacher told me about reading in public. Mr. Anderson, for those of you that went to the Boston Grammar School. As Mr. Anderson stroked my leg, in a reassuring way, he said, Sam, when it comes to public speaking, just imagine everyone naked. You'll feel much more comfortable. Well, Mr. Anderson. The thought of my mum and dad naked right now, not making this any more comfortable. So then, well, back onto the pressure. Simon gave me a phone call last week, and he said if I do a good job today, next time he gets married, I'll be the best man. I've got a few thanks I want to make, which Simon's already done, so I'm not going to go on to this bit too much, which skips out card 2, 3 and 4 quite a lot. But I want to thank first of all Stacey's mum and dad, Bev and Dad, and my mum and dad, which is Simon's mum and dad, if you haven't figured that out. Basically, they've been there and I've seen it firsthand. They've supported Stacey and Simon through their whole journey. They've treated Simon like a son, and I think mum and dad have treated Stacey like a daughter, and it's been like that from day one.
which has really helped and supported. Right, nextly, I'm going to go to the bridesmaid. I'm going to apologise to Craig for my next joke. So girls, you look both stunning today. But I know what a tradition is for you two to probably hook up with me and Leo. So, you probably thought your look was in, because we do look the bollocks. But unfortunately, we are both taken. But don't worry, I've come up with a plan to keep everyone happy. So single blokes, 3 man. I just think you smile. The auction's going to start at 10 o'clock at the bar. The opening bid's a tenner, and the highest bidder's going to get both of them. Get your wallets out. Next, I want to thank Leo. Leo, you did a great job organising the boys in Ibiza when I'd organised a stag do and then I got sick of it and passed it over to Leo. And he did a great job with it. Simon was a really good sport with all the stitch-up Leo's organised, apart from the pink dress. When it came to the pink dress, Simon's nearly shown one of the stags off the boat when he tried to take a photo of him. Literally ripped his iPhone out of his hand, looked like he was going to launch it into the sea. But to be fair, Leo, you've known Simon for 20 years now. You should have known pink's not his colour. Stags. I know Simon loved both his stag do's, or all 3 of them it turns out. I didn't get invited to the 3rd, so I must have been an absolute tosser on the 1st. But I need to say a bit of a thank you and an apology to a particular stag, and that man is Adam Pick. At the engagement do, there was a lot of banter flying around, as a lot of my mates went to Simon's stag do in Ibiza. And I was saying, Simon, my mates are right drinkers, we're going to do you. And him and the essays. So no, we're gonna do you. So what we decided in the end is I was going to put my biggest warrior up against Simon's biggest warrior. Well, I picked my best mate for my whole life. My best mate, SG. If SG, you just stand up for 1 second. Manchester lads who don't know him, you'd think he could drink, yeah? He looks like a drinker. Simon and the essays picked their best man. Pickle. 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 Now, night 2 in Ibiza, I've gone into SG's room. Look at me. I've gone into SG's room and I've found him whimpering in the corner. Tears coming out of his eyes, and he just said to me, he looked me in the eye like a lost puppy, and he said, Sam, I can't do it anymore. I can't do it anymore. And that was it. That was the end of his holiday. Vicky, you are the champ. Finally, I just want to thank everyone else who's come to the event to celebrate Simon and Stacey's wedding. I know they've absolutely meant the world to them, and they've absolutely loved it. Now, Stacey, I want to do a little bit about you, if you don't mind. I'm going to try and not look at this, because I've already written it down, but I want it to sound like I mean it. So, let me just get it in here. Stacey, you look absolutely stunning today, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. If someone told me I was going to well up before the wedding, I wouldn't have believed them. And when you walked down the aisle, it was gut-wrenching. I thought I was going to go, but I didn't. It just reminded me when you came, I don't know if you remember this, you came to our house in your pink prom dress, and when you left, Mum came up to me and she said, didn't you look like a princess? And I said no, because I was a stroppy 14-year-old. But you did, and you still do today, and you look absolutely gorgeous. When Simon first told me he was bringing Stacey round, and there's a reason I've stood here, you'll know this now, I already knew who Stacey was. As young lads, you'll all know, at primary school, you all have that one staff member that you've got the absolute crush on. You go to bed thinking about her. You know what I mean, Tree, don't you? You know what I mean. But for me, that was Stacey's mum there. When Simon first told me I was season, yeah, Mum and Dad just put me up for adoption, right? So when Simon first told me I was bringing Stacey round, I was a bag of nerves. After all, Bev was my childhood sweetheart. But I can only say on behalf of the whole family, Stacey, as soon as we met you, we took an instant liking to you.
Thank you, Daddy.
You're warm, bubbly and caring, and you can tell straight away Simon was onto a keeper. I don't know how he's pulled it off, and I don't know how. My mum was very picky over Simon and me, and she instantly liked you, so you must have done something right from the start. Right. Last thing about you, Stacey, so you can turn off after this if you want. It's about Simon then, and you probably won't want to hear it. One thing I've always loved about Stacey is her infectious laugh and smile, which I'm sure you've all seen today. And where am I? I'm sure being married to my brother, much more of that laughing and smiling will come. I've always classed you as a sister, Stacey. I know your family, Bev, Dad and Lucy, have always been there for me as well from the start. I'm proud the families are now officially joined together. Now on to Simon. When thinking about Simon's part of the speech, I've spent hours looking at all different types of speeches. The first route I took was looking at speeches on the internet, but all the good ones were in Scottish or American, and when rehearsing it I kept adapting the accents but mixing them up. I sounded like an absolute knobhead. It didn't say that here, but I thought I'd go with it, it's been alright. So I put YouTube away and I had to think again. I was then going to write a poem, but I really struggled to find a word that rhymed with Wolfie. So I had to knock that on the head. Also, under no circumstances, Simon told me to make any Wolf of Wall Street comments, especially comparing him to the Wolf of Wilmslow. So in the speech I will not mention that under any circumstances. My next thought was classic storytelling, and I've got some really good stories about Simon, some really disgraceful stories. So there I was right away, and I noticed a flaw in my plan. Well, as you can see, my beautiful girlfriend Heidi's here today, and me and Simon share the same family. So the flaw was, in all these disgraceful stories, I was right next to Simon, being just as disgraceful. So, for my own relationship, safety and self-respect, I cannot tell you these stories. I do want to tell you the stories, but I can't. But if you do see me pop up the bar later on my own with an empty glass, feel free to find me a pint, I will share a couple of them with you. The one about Magaluf is very interesting, so give me a nod for that. So Simon, I just wanted to share a couple of feelings instead. I wanted to let you know I've always looked up to you and copied what you do, whether it be music, football teams or fashion. I've even copied your outfit today. Growing up, you was a great protector of me and got me out of so many sticky situations, which I can never repay you for. I've always admired your ambition, but also the same way I love the way you don't take life too seriously. My favourite trait of yours, though, is how sensitive you are, which a lot of people around the room probably won't know about. So I am going to share one story with you. One Friday afternoon, Mum rang me to tell me my dad was in hospital. I immediately asked how he was and if I should come and see him. Mum told me he was fine and not to bother. I thought nothing more of it. That was it done for me. Later on in the evening, I get a phone call. I saw it was Simon, and at this time I'd come used to Simon's drunken Friday night phone call. Usually telling me how he'd skagged a kebab man out of a kebab or something like that and got it for free. This phone call was slightly different. A whimpering Simon, sounded a bit like SG and Ibiza, was stuttering, speaking to me, asking if he should come home. I asked him what was wrong, and what he meant. He said to me, Dad's in hospital, what do I do? Do I come back? I told him not to be daft. I said, Simon, you're being silly. So I hung up the phone and explained to Heidi what happened. Next thing you know, Stacey's ringing me, telling me Simon's distraught, and should they both come home. Again, I tell him not to worry, and Dad will be absolutely fine. That's the sort of guy my brother is though. He's got an heart of gold, and he's so caring for all his family and friends. But Simon, on this one, I do think he's slightly overreacted, considering Dad only had piles. Simon, I'm very proud of you today. I think for me and you personally, we both know this. There's never been a better time for me to do a speech for you. We're the closest we are now since we've been since we were kids. You truly are a great friend to me, and I couldn't ask for a better brother. I now want to pass you over to your best man, and he's going to be my best man after the getting to know life. You're dumped. Can we get Leo up, please, guys? Thank you very much.
For those of you that don't know, my name is Leo.
I'm Simon's best man. I've had the pleasure, if you can call it that, I've been a close friend to Simon for the last 25 years. I'd like to think as well that we can call friends for the rest of our lives, but that really does depend if Stacey lets him after these next 10 minutes. First and foremost, I'd like to formally congratulate Mr. and Mrs. Duff on this very long-awaited day.
Thank you.
As with life in general, there's not much rush about Simon, but we've finally got here. So I always said if I ever had the opportunity to play such a big role between two people that are so loving, intelligent, caring and articulate, that I would definitely take it. And if that opportunity does ever arrive, I will take it. This is good practice for now, I suppose. When I was doing some research into the best man speech, I thought I've got to be quite careful here, because I read in a few places that the best man speech should only be as long as the groom's lovemaking, so thanks for coming everyone.
No, not nice.
I told Duffy I was going to do that one. He said, Leo, you can't put that in there. I said, why not? He says, if you're going to tell everyone that your speech has got to be as long as the groom's lovemaking, be careful, we've only got the room booked till midnight. That's not what Stacey tells me. When Duffy told me he was getting engaged, I was really happy for them. I did check that we were happy they weren't rushing into it, of course, with them hardly knowing each other. A question, do you perhaps want to get to know Stacey a bit more first, but he's sure he's found the right one, and I couldn't agree more. So, Stacey, you're a very, very beautiful person inside and out, and I'm sure you'll make Simon happy for the rest of your lives together. As I'm sure you'll all agree, Stacey, she really does look stunning today. As for Simon, well, we did our best. Stacey said, as you probably heard already, she only actually agreed to go out with Simon as he kept annoying her by asking her out on a date. I'm glad to say 11 years on, he now actually gets to annoy her every single day. Stacey, sure you've not pushed into this one. What can you say though really about a man that's like the shooting star rising quickly to the top of his profession? You know, as you mentioned, he's achieved this purely for his own intelligence, grit and ability to go the extra mile, push where others have fallen. So what can you say about a man that no one can utter a bad word? Well, enough about me anyway, so I think you've not done bad, you've somehow managed to pull it off. We were quite worried about you at one point when you was younger. I remember I was about 13, I was speaking to Yvonne in the kitchen. I said, Yvonne, what do you think Simon will be when he leaves school? She said, oh, about 35, I reckon. And when I found out I had the job of being the best man, I started to think about my speech and how I should go about it. I thought, well, shall I base it around the stories of me and Duffy growing up? Well, for those of you that know Simon well, most are far from appropriate for family occasions like this. I considered expressing my happiness and love through them for the medium of dance. Well, after careful consideration and the threat of an early divorce, I decided against that. Once I had another 5 pints to get up on the dance floor, you realise that was a really good choice. I thought perhaps it's just best to give a little advice to Simon. Simon, as you can see, looking at him, is a very shrewd and wise individual. Doesn't always come across that way, but I'm sure he is. So I thought there's relatively little advice that I can give to him. However, there are a few simple ones that I think will come in handy along your journey together. The first being, you're right, I'm wrong, I'm sorry, I love you, because those shoes were a bargain. At least that's what the missus tells me anyway. So. For Stacey, I've kept it simple. It's not really advice, just more of a present, I suppose. For any of you that have had the unfortunate experience of surviving a night with Simon, you'll know that along with that comes quite an issue, Simon, isn't there? So this might help you along the way. So it's never worry, just some earmuffs.
Thanks, Theo. I definitely need these.
Language.
I was with them last night, I didn't get one of an hour's kids. Now, this is for the big moment, I suppose. Let me put this password in. You have to leave it in taste, don't you, Sam?
Yeah, I've got it.
Really like these.
Letters in capitals.
Password.
Excalibur.
Many of you know that Simon was best man for me 3 weeks ago, in fact, and with that in mind, he went relatively easy on me, didn't you, Simon?
I did.
That was with the understanding or hope, I suppose, that I was going to do the same for him. and I'm not going to at all. Like Duffy did, I'm going to break a really big taboo here. I'm going to talk about the stag do those 4 days in Ibiza. I know it should be. There's a lot of worried faces around here. SG, you okay? There's a lot of worried faces.
In the cupboard, it's fine.
And rightly so. Now Sam, on the first day, took in the beach about 200 photos. Most of these unfortunately had to be deleted. They weren't deemed appropriate. Well, I've managed to get my hands on quite a few of them. These photos are about to expose a big hidden secret of Duffy's. A secret that only those lads that went into the stag do will be aware of. I must confess, if you want to know, the only reason that Simon wanted to go to Ibiza was due to his keen interest in Spanish art and culture. There we all are on the first day at Museo di Siano, Duffy's favourite spot, of course. That's the main reason that he wanted to go to Ibiza.
Next one.
Here was Simon enjoying his tour of the Historical Museum of Contemporary Art on the second day. Was there anything else you wanted to pretend that we did, mate?
No, I don't know.
That's exactly what happened, Lucy. I'm sure you'll have confirmed. I'd like to say a lot of hard work has gone into making today and the great occasion that it is. I'm sure you'll all agree it's paid off. I'd like to say what an amazing job they've done in making the day special. The room really does look fantastic. So I'm fairly certain that Stacey must have played the main role and decided on the decor for today. And must assume the praise here could go to Stacey, as despite my previous suggestions, Simon's not particularly well known for his art or creative skills, are you? When Duffy asked me to be his best man, he knew not to expect much in the way of my organisation skills, hence why I Sam had to organise the stag do. If it had been me, it had been a night in Wetherspoons. Stacey, however, she gave me far more of an important task as the best man. I was under very strict instructions for Simon not to be smelling of alcohol when he greeted her on the aisle. Well, that task is similar to asking a fish not to swim. It's a difficult and unforgiving task, but I'm glad to say we finally managed it, and now we're looking officially at Mr. and Mrs. Duff. So I'd like you all to join me in joining the fantastic couple in celebrating love and relationships. I'd like you now all to stand and join me into a toast to Mr. and Mrs. Duff.
Wait, stand up there. Thank you.
When your legs don't work like they used to before, and I can't sweep you off of your feet, will your mouth still remember the taste of my love? Will your eyes still smile from your cheeks? Darling, I will be loving you till we're 70. And baby, my heart could still fall as hard at 23. And I'm thinking about how people fall in love in mysterious ways. Maybe just the touch of a hand. Well, me, I fall in love with you every single day. And I just wanna tell you I am. So honey, now take me into your loving arms. Kiss me under the light of 1,000 stars. Place your head on my beating heart. I'm thinking out loud, maybe we found love right where we are. When my hair's all but gone and my memory fades, and the crowds don't remember my name, when my hands don't play the strings the same way, I know you will still love me the same. 'Cause honey, your soul could never grow old, it's evergreen. baby, your smile's forever in my mind and memory. I'm thinking about how people fall in love in mysterious ways, and maybe it's all part of a plan. Well, I'll just keep on making the same mistakes, hoping that you'll understand. But baby, now take me into your loving arms, kiss me